Commercial, though, might actually be my favourite style.
I would highly recommend a foundation to anyone. I think that...
You've just got to grow up straight away.
Yeah.
Like, there is no time for slack. It's like you've just got to mature.
Mentally, one of the most taxing experiences of my life.
There were so many in the group chat I wasn't expecting. Over 200 people. Didn't want to see it if your feet were just going like this, which I think was a little bit targeted.
In their audition, they had them on spin bikes, like in a gym, and they had them singing while they were doing this spin class.
When you go into an audition room, you need to know everyone who's in there, why they're important, how they got there. I'm not there yet, but I have a lot of research to do. Welcome to the studio. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great. So this is Emma Brew.
Hi.
You are an ex-PPFY student on the course at Bird College. My name is Josh Cambridge, and this is the Movement Theories podcast. So, for some context, we are both now first years at Bird College, which is a drama school, conservatoire kind of thing in Sidcup. You have been here for 1 year already to do a foundation course, which we'll talk about. And we've just finished our kind of first freshers kind of 2 weeks before we go into our main groups for the rest of the year. So why don't you firstly talk about yourself, your experience, and all of that.
Yeah, so hi guys. So I'm Emma, I'm from just outside of Liverpool. I did a foundation at Bird last year, which was incredible experience. So it's quite nice, you know, I kind of know the ropes a little bit, know my way around, know the teachers, things like that. And yeah, I'm very excited to be on the podcast.
I know, this is a fun little channel. Hopefully we'll get more students on in the future. So we first kind of met through Instagram, through looking for houses, because if you've never applied for accommodation for university or anything, it's a tough process if you don't go into student halls. And so I think I had about 6 different applications that then fell through before I got this place. And we are now in my new room. And I've got a little studio in the corner, which is lovely. Also, it's a very bare set. It's a little bit sad. So do comment, if people comment, what you'd like to see. I've got a big board up here that could be filled with cool things. I was thinking a fake plant might be quite nice. So, yeah, tell me about how you found the first 2 weeks of the course so far.
First 2 weeks, I mean, exhausting is one word.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that.
Dancing
totally.
in a heat wave was, you know, something we didn't have to battle last year.
Exactly.
But, you know, everyone's so lovely when you first meet them. Well, they're still lovely now.
Haven't stopped being lovely.
Yeah. The teachers have very, like, expectations. Do you know what I mean? Like, they want you to know that you do not mess about in their class, you do not slack off in their class.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that they kind of establish that kind of early on. And then, you know, don't smile till Christmas, and then after that it's like, yay.
Yeah, we've actually done exams already. We've finished our 2 assessments. Do you want to talk about those, what they were?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a jazz dance assessment when we were taught 2 combinations of contrasting styles, and then we also had a singing assessment, which was just 16 bars of a musical theatre song.
Yeah, so we've done those already. This is the end of week 2. It's currently Thursday. Tomorrow we just have, I think it's a voice lesson and then like talks and a barbecue, which is quite nice. Bit of context, no hate towards Bird at all, but freshers wise, for what we've done here, a lot of it is independent, and so I think if you're thinking about Bird as a place to go to, you've got to be aware that for freshers, there's very much kind of outside of the college to kind of leave it in your own hands to sort out, apart from the barbecue that we have tomorrow, which is going to be pretty cool. So this first 2 weeks, it's been, for me, because I haven't done a foundation, I came straight from a secondary school, it's been intense. It's been really weird, especially because I hadn't done jazz, I hadn't done tap. Had you done those styles before you
Jazz, not so much. I was a ballet tapper singer kind of last year. So contemporary was a wake-up call. It was very, at first I was like, this is hippy-dippy nonsense, why am I doing it? But you learn to love it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, jazz and contemporary not so much.
Yeah. On the flip side, I was just a contemporary dancer, as I think you know, and so the tap has been hard. The jazz has been hard. The commercial, though, might actually be my favourite style. A little welcome. We've got a new cameraman 2, George Clutton behind the camera. You can feel free to join in with the conversations if you want to. I don't know how well the audio will pick you up, but he's very, very generously given us his time to kind of do all the camera work. It's been very weird since I've come here because I had a little team back at my old base, and then I was suddenly on my own, and I was like, cool, I've got to sort this out myself. But isn't it nice having some great friends? So cheers to that. So I think I'd like to hear more about, because actually I don't really know much about your foundation course. Is it, or was it, did you do A-levels before that? So was it easier, harder than A-levels? How would they compare?
I think it's definitely made this year easier. I would highly recommend a foundation to anyone. I think that it's a lot more common than I originally realised. And I think that it's just so good because, like, now going into first year, I don't have to think about living on my own. I don't have to think, even like making new friends. Obviously, I want to meet new people, but I've got those safety people if I need them. And so it was intense. It was long days, and they were jam packed. Mentally, one of the most taxing experiences of my life, but so worth it. Yeah.
The thing I found is, since coming, you've just got to grow up straight away. Like, there is no time for slack. It's like you've just got to mature. I had a little bit of an immature mindset before I came, and now I'm like, damn, can't rely on my parents.
No.
We actually both meal prep quite a lot, don't we? What have you done so far meal prep wise?
I've done gorgeous spaghetti bolognese and veggie stir fry. Tuna pasta baker's next on the menu.
Very good, yeah. I've brought some food with me in little pots. I've actually got a mini freezer, which I didn't even know I was having. So that's in the corner, and so that's got some frozen meals in, because I actually only get one drawer. Is that the same for you? One drawer of freezer space, one drawer of fridge space. So there's a little bit of extra, which is quite nice. But for me, I like to bake in bulk. And when I cook, I do it in bulk, and so then I can divide it out. George, have you meal prepped?
I have, yes. I've done spaghetti bolognese for the past few nights.
Nice.
And then I make my own pizzas and stuff.
Ooh.
Very good. I might have to do that. Do you buy pizza like bases? Do you buy, because I bought like naan bread sometimes.
I do, yeah. Or I use wraps and use
okay.
like pasta sauce.
Nice.
Interesting.
Cheese.
That's pretty cool. But this first 2 weeks is like you've just got to grow up.
There's no, like, they teach you about how you should be looking after your body and your wellness and getting enough sleep and things like that. Nobody teaches you how to use your washing machine and how to like cook your meals. So.
Yeah, I've been pretty good. I've done 2 washes so far. I'd never actually.
How are you affording this?
we were talking about how bills work with our properties, and it's crazy because for 3 people we have like a pretty good amount, and they've only got a little bit more for 16, which is wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I've done 2 washes. One girl said that they do washes every day. They do like a blues and a greens and then darks and lights, and I was like, whoa, from group 4.
Who?
No names.
Okay.
No names. So how it works is there are a bunch of groups, 9 is there. So I've taken quite a few this year. I thought Bird only took 100.
It's increased. This is why it's so hard to find accommodation, because there's more students but the same amount of housing. But it was 8 last year and then 2 PPFY classes, but this year they've got 1 PPFY and added an extra degree. Yeah,
so there was so many in the group chat when I first kind of joined. I was like, I wasn't expecting like over 200 people to be on the course. And the site, like Bird site, isn't huge. Like it reminds me of my primary school a little bit. When you think of university, you think like massive buildings with loads of different floors. So we've been split into 9 groups for the degree course. We're in group 4, which is a lovely group. It's very nice. And you stick with them for the first 2 weeks. We've done our assessments, and then we get put into brand new groups next week for the rest of the year, which is going to be weird because all these people that I've spent the first 2 weeks getting to know probably won't be with. Apart from, I think TAP is different, isn't it? You're in different groups for TAP.
Yeah, so TAP is streamed into 3 groups based on ability because it's quite different from sort of the rest of the dance styles.
Yeah.
And then we've got workshop and MT, which we're not in our set classes for. as
Yeah.
well.
How much do you know about the way the workshops work?
So workshop-wise, it's kind of like devising theatre. If anyone did GCSE A-level drama.
Yeah.
Yep. So you'll work with the music director and you'll work, I think, with a choreographer.
Nice.
And they'll give you a theme. So I know they talked this year about doing supernatural. I think last
I
year
heard about
they
that.
did. I want to say spirituality, but that could be wrong. And so you just pick songs from musicals and basically write your own sort of 15, 20-minute piece of theatre and then
really cool.
show it to the other classes.
Yeah. That sounds quite similar, like a good setup for when we do the dissertations, because I feel like those is where we create our own piece of theatre that's like half an hour is like the longest that it can be. The way dissertations works, do correct me, is you can do like a short piece with a lot of writing.
Yes.
A middle length piece with a fair amount of writing, and then just a full length musical theatre piece. I can't remember the actual times. I think it was half an hour.
Right.
I think it was half an hour for the first one. Obviously, I don't need to be thinking about my dissertation now. I've got lots more to do. Like tomorrow, we got to remember our monologues for our class, which
Thanks for bringing that up, John.
But certain someone maybe after the podcast should have a little read through their lines. But actually, I think if you're using your audition,
yes,
then you should pick it up quite quickly. Are you prepared? What are you thinking?
So, yeah, I've got the one I did for my audition, so
Yeah.
let's see.
No, I think I was gonna be more nervous, but I feel okay. Like even the singing, I'm not a confident singer, but it wasn't too bad.
No,
it was quite
chill.
short. The only thing which I'd never think I'd say was I would have liked to have done it from the beginning, because jumping straight into the big bit at the end, very off.
16 bars is not a lot.
No.
Like,
No.
give us 32 at least. Come on.
Yeah.
A verse and a chorus, not pick one.
I hadn't realised how short it would be, and it just felt like it was over as soon as it started. When we have half-hour sing lessons each week, and even the lady that I was working with, she was like, this doesn't show off your voice very much. This doesn't show progression. But she had loads of problems with it. I was like, well, hey-ho. But yeah, so from these assessments, they put us into different groups, different sets.
Yeah.
Which is like partly is off ability, but then I feel like isn't there also a layer of like, if you're generally good at everything, you'll be with people who are generally good at everything.
Last year they kind of have like, you have the ones that it's like you're very clearly a dancer, you're very clearly a singer, but then they've also got like you're quite technical and you're good at performance and you're good at like tricks and flips and stuff like that. So it's all, you'll get put in the right place essentially. They know what they're doing.
Well, the interesting thing is, we mentioned about tricks and flips. I do tricks and flips, but I was a gymnast. Probably not very well anymore, but I haven't actually shown them that I do tricks and flips. So it's going to be interesting. I am really interested in where I'll be put, because I'm a dancer, but I'm just a contemporary dancer. And so the jazz is new, the tap is new, and it's like, I'm better at singing and acting than I am all of the other dance styles, and I'm just very confident and comfortable with contemporary.
Yeah. It's transferable skills though.
Yeah, but I think I'd like we got asked, would we like to go into musical theatre or dance by the ballet teacher, who was awesome. I've never had a male ballet teacher teach me before, and so it was so different to everything I was used to. But he asked whether we wanted to go down a dance route or musical theatre route, and I said dance. But the reason I've chosen this course is because it gives me a whole range of styles. And everyone says, I want to talk about the Hamilton thing, because that was pretty cool. Everyone says that you've got to be versatile. You've got to have loads of different doors open for you. And so that was one of my big reasonings for coming here. The Hamilton thing, which I was not expecting. I didn't know they were in it. I just thought they knew. Yeah, I hadn't realised. Today we had a workshop, and it was led by two of the West End casts of Hamilton, and they taught us choreography from Room Where It Happened, which was incredible. And I saw Hamilton workshop, but I didn't realise it was actually with people from
currently in it, as in they're going tonight to perform the show,
which is,
it's crazy.
It's mental. Did you want to talk about how that was? I don't know how much we can say. They did say something about like not taking videos, but
I mean, it's really cool getting to work with like actual industry professionals, and it's not sort of like either over Zoom or like a random one-off workshop. Like those people were dancing in that exact studio like 3-4 years ago, like exactly where we were.
One of them was a birdie,
and
then one went to Erdang. I believe. Yeah, I find that crazy, but it's really motivating as well because it's like, this is what we want to do. And then we had a commercial class afterwards, another workshop one. So we've done a whole range. We've done commercial, jazz, ballet, tap, musical theatre, voice,
contemporary,
singing, acting. There's so much stuff. It's a little bit kind of overwhelming at times, and our timetables can be a little bit confusing. The way it's laid out is like you have to kind of read it like across, like a page spread. But what I do is I just do it at the beginning of the week and I like write down in my notes everything, which has worked for me. But there's just so much, especially these first 2 weeks, and they said that they'll get easier, but these first 2 weeks they've done like intermediate level for everything. So not advanced but not beginner. Everything's been kind of intermediate. How have you found that? Is there anything you've kind of struggled with, you've enjoyed a lot?
I love a bit of tap. I love fast rhythm tap, which I know for non-tappers is very scary.
It's very, very scary.
Because I think you can blag jazz a little bit. Like if you throw your arms in the right place, then you can get away with it. But if you're not making the sounds in tap, you're not making the sounds. But they will go back to like basics. I would say it's probably slightly under the standard that we were doing at the end of last year. But compared to what we started with last year, I would say it's higher than where we were.
Yeah. And as someone, would you call yourself a tapper?
Probably.
Yeah.
I love a bit of tap.
And as a non-tapper, how would you say that I've done this week?
Josh has done really well this week. He was put front and centre because we were in alphabetical order. And yeah, I think as someone who's never tapped before, you were trying like the more difficult variations.
Well, she did say sometimes that she didn't want to see it if your feet were just going like this, which I think was a little bit targeted, but rightly so, because I like just to try everything. But no, generally, like if you any more details, because have you watched? You must have watched some of like the way I was tapping. What could have this is putting on the spot slightly. What could have improved, and what was like, oh, that was actually surprisingly good?
I think pickups, sleigh.
Oh, thank you.
You must have strong calves.
I guess, yeah. Gymnastics probably. Because like I feel like there are some elements of tap that are kind of similar to contemporary, and that you're supposed to be like grounded, but also up and floppy ankles. You just literally need, like before every class, you just need to like flop your ankles around. I realised that they're not it. Work in progress.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
You've done 3 classes? So.
Yes, I've done 3 classes. The thing that I found is you just got to throw yourself at everything. Yeah. Because they were saying it's the best way to improve and learn. And I'd say tap is the one thing where I have thrown myself to varying successes. Everything else, jazz I'd always found really difficult, but then as soon as we did the classes and they were brought back down slightly, I was like, oh, this is actually doable. Because before the auditions I did like 4 classes, and it was just like straight into things that these people have been doing for the term. Like, I just went to 4 and I was like, oh, I can't do jazz. I was like, this isn't gonna happen. But actually now we've done it from like the beginning, and it's like they teach us how to do everything a little bit more. It has been quite nice. So yeah, that's kind of been the dance styles that we do. Acting wise and singing wise, they've very much been like, you're not in your real groups. So we haven't really started working on much apart from ensemble singing. We did a bit of, let me test my brain. I do musical theatre, but I'm not a theatre kid.
We'll soon change that.
I need to watch more. The MT teacher was really on about cabaret as one to watch.
Yes.
You did just start humming it. Wicked. Yeah. And it was the song though, between Elphaba and Galinda, and it was split into. This is really bad. One short day.
Yes.
There we go. I have watched Wicked. But it was a while ago. The thing is, like, I'll watch things.
He still doesn't know this song.
No, because like, I'll watch things and I won't remember it. Like, Newsies, my favourite musical. But if someone was like, "Oh, Jason's track," I'm like, I don't know. Like, who's Jason? like, I made a name up, but people will say things about Newsies, and I know Newsies is one of your favourites.
Newsies is my favourite.
Yeah, I've watched it twice on Disney Plus, and never in person yet. But they're coming back.
You didn't see it in person? That's really sad. I saw it twice in a week.
Oh wow! But that actually shows how good it is.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah. The thing is, I'll like musicals, but because I haven't been doing it for long, I just won't remember things that other people do remember. I watched Moulin Rouge, which was really good. But the thing is, I couldn't tell you much about it, just apart from it was nice to watch, which is awful. And I will change this, because in one of the talks they were saying you need to know everything. Yeah. Like, you need to know all of the big stars, who's up and coming, the directors, the casting people that you're going to be working with. When you go into an audition room, you need to know everyone who's in there, why they're important, how they got there. I'm not there yet, but I have a lot of research to do. And hopefully you seem to know quite a fair amount.
I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to musical theatre.
I'm a geek, just not in a musical theatre setting at the moment. Yeah. So hopefully your knowledge will be imparted on me, because I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to learn. A lot to watch as well. I want to watch Magic Mike. I think that might be a good watch.
I can't wait to go and see Magic Mike.
People have been talking about it already, and I was like,
There was a birdie in that at some point. I don't know if they're still in it, but there was at some point.
I did just think of a little game. We like to try and throw games in here and there. It's about favourite musicals. We did it in our class, favourite musicals, and which one would you want to be in right now? And then talk about that. It's not really a game, it's just a question.
I mean, I feel like the classic answer, Catherine Plummer in Newsies.
Okay, yes, nice.
Love a bit of tap, love a bit of Disney, or even, spoiler alert, if you've not seen the new London version, Spot Colin, because they had
I heard about that.
female Newsies, the Brooklyn Newsies, and I didn't know when they first came out, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Or Molly from Ghost.
Ghost?
Yeah, because it was...
Ghost? There's a programme called Ghosts.
There's a movie... Wait. That's Patrick Swayze.
But there's a series called Ghost as well.
Yes, it's
they're
not.
linked.
No.
But the series of Ghosts is like Horrible Histories, kind of.
Yeah, it's not.
Same people. Right, there's a musical called Ghost. Tell me about that. I have no idea.
So it's Cassie Levi in the original Broadway, who I'm in love with.
Okay, nice.
It's the one with the pottery, and she's doing the pottery, and he's the ghost, and he's got his arms around. No, With You, the song.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna brush past that.
But this is just a learning opportunity. It's just a learning opportunity.
So there's sort of 4 main characters, quite a big ensemble. It's just very feel good. It's quite a mumsy show, I can't lie.
Okay. Mamma Mia, I call it a mumsy show. Well, mainly because my mum made me watch it 6 times as a child. Well, she didn't make me. I kind of chose to because I liked it. Mamma Mia is really good, though.
It is really good.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
It's all right.
I stopped
Don't worry.
So Ghost, Mumsy show.
Yeah, it's just very the songs and the music are just gorgeous, and the story is so lovely.
How many times have you seen that one?
I've seen it live once. There's a university in America that did a version of it, which I must have watched about 12 to 15 times.
I've never watched anything 12 to 15 times.
Stop.
Mamma Mia 6, 7, and that's probably been the one thing I've watched the most. And it was just because my mum kept coming back to watch it every 6 months. And nothing else I've watched more times than that.
See, I will hyperfixate on a show, and I will watch that show every night for at least a week.
No, I've never done that. Is that normal?
Yeah, I did that with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
He gets it.
Yeah, and Oliver.
Wow.
Heathers. Yeah.
Just to get every single night watching it.
I couldn't, I'm not sure I'd regain interest to watch something over and over and over and over.
Send me to sleep sometimes. I used to watch it to fall asleep.
That's crazy. We did an episode a couple of weeks ago about film, and my friend who I had on that was talking about watching The Shining so many times. I've just never watched anything that many times, especially in one week, every night. I didn't even think that was a thing. I didn't know people did that. That to me is crazy. Maybe if I get to that point, then I'll call myself a theatre kid.
Yeah.
Watching a musical over and over. But there's so many that I haven't watched that maybe one of them. Book of Mormon, I heard was to be quite good.
That's really funny. Don't go with your parents.
No. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. What else is good on West End at the moment? I mentioned Cabaret is one that we were told to watch.
They're doing a 3-night concert of Babies the Musical, and I can't wait to go and see that.
I've never heard of Babies the Musical.
It was.
Is this like a known thing?
It's not like really popular one. If I remember rightly, it was written for NYMT.
Oh really?
Potentially.
National Music Theatre.
Yeah.
Damn.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it's basically about like to avoid teenage pregnancy.
So my roommate's coming in. That's going to happen a lot.
To avoid teenage pregnancy, they give them robot babies.
Damn.
But Hannah Lowther did like, they put a few of the songs on Apple Music, so that's how I found out about it. And now they're doing the stage concert, so I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah. Well, Hannah Lowther's very cool, isn't she?
Yeah.
She could be an interesting guest, maybe, at some point in the future. If she's happened to watching a clip, maybe I'll make this into a clip. I'd love to have you on. That would be amazing. My big goal, whilst I'm in London for the next 3 years, hopefully for longer if I get a job, is to get West End stars on. That's the aim for this channel. So for those of you watching, to support us, yeah, you can like it, you can subscribe, whatever. But if you happen to be in the industry, come on the show, because it's a fun little thing to do. This was quite last minute though. Yeah, like you were a last minute replacement.
I was second choice guy.
Yeah, but I would have got you on another episode anyway.
Good.
We had to do a mini cancellation, but it's fine. Bird College shows then, have you watched any? Do you know anything about what they're like?
Yes, so we get free tickets to all of the shows.
Okay, nice.
It's fully timetabled in for us.
Wow, I didn't even realise that.
Yeah.
This is bad.
So for us, only the third years do like full shows. There's various like workshops, and they'll have like dance evenings and singing evenings and things like that you can choose whether you perform in and choose to go and see. Last year, so you have, I think there's 8 create performances, which is kind of like third year workshop. So there's 4 dance and 4 musical theatre. So you have like 2 nights that you watch them. And then last year, let's see what they did. They did Gypsy, Rent, Sweet Charity, A Chorus Line, Spring Awakening, and something else. It'll come to me.
I'm surprised that you remembered all of them though.
Yeah.
So did you watch them all? Or
Yeah.
Is it like a thing that all of the Bird students go to watch all of the shows?
Yeah, kind of.
Just so that you get nice audiences as well.
Yeah. Well, because we're scheduled in to go and see them, and then parents will come to like the evening and weekend shows, and then there's agents and things like that. But it's just nice to like, especially if you live with third years and things like that, then you get to go and see them perform. And,
Are they like a full week kind of a show, or is it just a couple nights?
It's at least Wednesday to Saturday. They might do a Monday, Tuesday as well, I'm not sure.
Nice, yeah. That sounds kind of like what NYMT did. It's not like some massive touring thing, it's like they do take a week out.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that they're scheduled in. Like, that's really nice, because it means that you do have an opportunity to go and watch these people perform. I wonder if that's a norm for drama schools, that you get scheduled to watch for last year's shows.
Potentially. Or I know some places you watch the dress run so that they can sell tickets and then...
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I'm excited to get to be involved in this.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool. I've only done a short range of musicals. I've done a couple brand new musicals, and I've done ones like Wizard of Oz.
Nice.
And Addams Family. What's the third one? Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Joseph was my like first... Oh, what's musical theatre?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think... Okay, I'm not counting these because they weren't when I was older. But as a kid, like year 8, I was in the drama department and they put Les Mis on at school. That was... And then they did a trip and we got to go watch it at the Sondheim Theatre, or the now Sondheim Theatre. And incredible. Little cool fact. You know the barricade on the West End set? I have kissed that barricade. Because I did National Youth Music Theatre and we got to do a concert at the Sondheim Theatre, and as we were walking past the set, I went and I just gave a little smooch.
Do you realise how many people will like sweat and spit.
Yeah,
and,
that's fine. That's history right there. How many years has that been on for? That's probably quite a lot.
Oh, it's a long time.
Yeah, one of the longest.
Yeah.
Is it the longest or is it one of?
What?
It's not the longest.
Not
no,
the.
yeah.
It was Phantom.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, I feel like, I mean, I'm not really a theatre kid, but that does stand out to me as like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I make people jealous with that fact. Well, my local company that I used to be part of. And then I think the very first musical, which is where I was getting to, year 6, again, drama department thing there. And it was, what's the one with all the creatures, like Toad and Mole and...
Wind in the Willows?
Yeah, we did Wind in the Willows. That was my very first musical. And I played Badger. And it was my first time going up on the stage with a microphone singing. And like swaying around like this. I was like... Da, da, da. And here I am at Bird College. Who would have
Where it all began.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I did that one and then one 2 years later and then just nothing. Because contemporary dancer right here. But it's going to be nice. I'm excited to actually start doing more. Do you do much? Have you done much kind of like principal roles, or are you generally ensemble?
I did. Let me think. So my first like proper full scale show was in year 7 of high school when I
High school?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I call it secondary school.
High school, primary school, high school, college. Yeah.
No. Do you call it high school?
No, secondary school.
Secondary school. All right. Primary school. Nursery reception. Primary school. Secondary school.
Well, reception's in primary school.
Oh, fine. Primary school, secondary school, 6th form.
Sixth form and college are different
University.
things. My high school had a sixth form attached, but I went to
High
college.
school. It was called a high school.
It was
In
literally
England?
called the name high school.
Really?
Like
That's
it had
weird.
the 2 letters of the
Yeah.
name of it and then HS on the badge for high school.
Huh. No, mine had something community college. Was my...
He was posh.
Sorry. No, but how is that posh? Community college. That's like just pop. Everyone goes to it.
Secondary school.
Secondary
no,
school. Secondary
high
school is not posh. We had like 3,000 kids at my secondary school, and it was one of the biggest. It sometimes was up to 4,000. But the thing is, like, just every child in the area went there.
Yeah.
So definitely not posh. Diverse range of people. Definitely not posh.
Like posh ones.
It's high school to me sounds like American and posh and kind of groovy. I've got really distracted at the point I was going towards.
Year 7, I did We Will Rock You in
Right, there we
high
go.
school.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Mm.
I'd always done like singing and done dance, but I'd never really put them together. And then I saw my first... There was a theatre group, like an Amdram group, where I grew up, and they used to put on shows at a little theatre. They do full-scale musicals twice a year, and I went to see, I think they did Cats, and I was like, I have to join this like group. And the demand was like ridiculous. Even to get an audition, it was insane. And then I managed to get an audition in year 8, and I got in, which is really exciting.
Yeah, well done.
And then we would do performances twice a year of full-scale shows. And then, so you kind of work your way up. It goes from like ensemble to like featured dancer and featured vocalist, things like that. And then I was very lucky in that the week before COVID hit, very lucky, we did a show called The Battle of Boat, which was another NYMT show.
Yeah. Wait, so they did an NYMT show?
Yeah, so the the writers, Lewis and Maltby, I want to say, that could be wrong, reached out to our company and was like, we've seen, like, we want you to do our show, are you interested? And we were like, yeah, let's do it.
That's cool.
And it was insane. Like, for such an underground show, it's gorgeous music. That was
I've done one song from it in a concert with NYMT.
Nice.
It was cool.
That was my first principal role. And then COVID hit.
Yeah, so you managed to get it in just before.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I did go back after COVID, but I really struggled because we had like the older ones, and then we had the age that were sort of ready to take over from the leads, and then we didn't have when we went back, we had like a lot of the older ones had left.
I see, yeah.
And so...
I'm sure a lot of people probably had that.
Yeah,
Well,
we were okay for about a year, and then all my age moved to uni. We didn't have that age just below, so yeah, they're in a bit of trouble. Just because you've not got like the life maturity sometimes, you know what I mean?
COVID has, in terms of just theatre, a massive effect in all sorts of ways that I'd never even realised. And one of them is that I hadn't even thought. My thing was like, oh yeah, audiences not coming back, but actually you're skipping out on like a generation of people who would have been practicing to fill in the shoes of the older one who left. Have you played other roles kind of that big since? Was that kind of the...
I did in high school. We did Bring It On, and I was in ensemble. And then like 2 weeks before, our girl who was playing Ava, one of the principal characters, was like, I don't want to do it anymore.
And I
stepped in
2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive though. That is impressive.
Yeah, it was. I am bragging, guys. It's very cool.
Yeah, that is sick. Wow. That's like, I guess in West End, that's like, what's it called? Not cover? Swing?
Yeah, understudying, kind of, yeah.
But I guess when you're understudying, like, you know the part.
Yeah.
Or like, so you learn everything in...
Pretty much. I knew all the like choreography and the harmonies and the songs and things like that, so that was fine. We did it for 3 nights, and I can't lie to you, on the second night, I did just completely forget to go on stage for a scene. So they just improv'd, and then I was like, oops.
Yeah.
But it was fine.
The fun of Amdram, I think, is that kind of improv that you do. And it's like, you're 16, but it's like, something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Let's try something out and see how it works. And when it does work, it's always like a really fun story to tell.
Yeah.
Would you think you'd like to go for kind of principal roles in Bird College shows?
Hopefully.
Yeah. You're not just set on ensemble, you get a step forwards.
Oh, yeah. Singer first, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. For me, I think I'm kind of the opposite. The roles I've played that I don't even know if you classify them as principal. I was Uncle Henry so I joined this company, but I just didn't have any boys, so I did just get handed like the leftover male principal roles. So I was Uncle Henry. I've played Potiphar as well. I don't know if you'd call those principal, but otherwise I'm an ensemble guy. That's kind of what I like. And if I don't do any principal roles in Bird, which I'm not planning on, imagine if my first kind of lead male role is in professional theatre.
It could be.
Like, that's a crazy thought. That's how that there's a chance. Now, I'm more than happy and probably want to do ensemble stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Hamilton routine we got taught today. Yeah, we haven't actually kind of delved into any kind of tricks yet in any of the classes, so I'm waiting for those to be brought forwards. Even ones that I don't know, like I love learning stuff like that.
There's a certain contemporary teacher we've not had yet.
Okay.
He's very, like, loves the floor, but loves, like, off the floor, on the floor, off the floor, on the floor. You would
love floor work.
Very well in his class. 4-2.
I'll see. Okay.
Yeah, you would do very well in his class.
Damn, so we still haven't had all the teachers yet, because I thought we'd got through them all.
All the ones we've had this week we might not be taught by.
Right, I could be taught by 4-2 next week.
Yes, potentially. If he's got first years this year, which he normally does.
Damn. Yeah. I'm waiting to be able to do kind of more. I think the biggest thing is I've never learned how to combine dance and acrobatics effectively. Because when we did the auditions earlier this week for the jazz, like a girl was doing like a back handspring and stuff in our group. And I was like, I wish that I just knew and was confident to be able to do that in an improv section in a way that looked cool, because hers looked sick. I was like, yeah, fair play. And I can do these things, just I can't flow. And so I'm really hoping that I can work with a teacher who can teach that. How did you find the very first time having to combine dance and singing? Because when I joined my local group, I just got flung straight into it, and I was like, yeah, this is tough. Yeah. It is hard having to do so much kind of belting or singing or whatever. Yeah. Twirling around.
There's definitely a learning curve, you know. It's quite... If you've ever watched The Search for Elwoods...
I haven't, no.
Watch
I will. Give me a list, I'll get through.
So The Search for Elwoods was... Elle is the principal character of Legally Blonde. She is one of the most demanding roles like in theatre. She's pretty much on stage the whole time and carries the whole show.
In Legally Blonde?
Yes.
Okay, haven't watched it, but I will.
Very good show.
I will.
Would recommend. They did an exercise when in their audition they had them on spin bikes, like in a gym, and they had them singing while they were doing this spin class.
Ooh.
And they were doing like sit-ups while doing vocal warm-ups and star jumps while doing tongue twisters.
That is crazy.
Which you look at and you're like, that's insane. But then you think, well, they have a whole routine in the show and they're trying to do skipping ropes and sing at the same time. Like,
so it makes sense that you do that on audition.
So when you're doing your like home workout routine, do your sit-ups, just practice your audition song at the same time.
As well. I'd never even thought that an audition could do that. Just like they'd make you do a workout while singing.
Yeah.
I remember one of my first times, it was only like last year, when I was having to do a dance routine and sing, and I was like, I thought I was a fairly fit guy, but when you have to do that, you just doubt yourself. You're like, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this because this is hard, and I will get loads of experience to do over the next 3 years though. I mean, we're only 2 weeks in, which is kind of the exciting thing. That so much has happened already. Like we've done a whole workshop with cast of Hamilton, and it's like we're not even a month in. This has only been 2 weeks. But yeah, it's such an exciting place in life, firstly, that we're in, but also just the area. And there's there's a lot going on. There's an acro class that might start. Would you go to that?
I really wanted to go last year, and the girl was supposed to go with rolled her ankles, so we did not.
Yeah.
But I know people that did, and they got their aerial in like an hour, and I was like, yes, get me there.
Really want to learn aerials, but I don't care if it's like a really technically like neat one, but some people do them in like a kind of a cool way. I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
When I was younger, if I had a cool run up that got me lots of momentum, I could just about do one. Since then, no. So that's going to be one of my goals. What about handsprings, things like that? Would you want to learn?
Yeah, I mean, I used to do gymnastics. I had my walkovers.
Okay.
I managed to keep my front one just about.
Nice.
Because I was trying to show off at work. I work with young people, and they were like, "Look at my cartwheel," and I'm like, "Look what I can do."
Yeah. No, I get that.
My back one has disappeared, so that needs to come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to learn like cool flips and handsprings and stuff like that.
The character you were talking about in Newsies, did they do tricks? Because I know that there's... Okay, let me see if I can remember her name. There's a lady who's in Newsies. I
know who you mean.
And there's a video on Instagram which she posted, and she was like doing
all the back handsprings.
I'm trying to remember what her name is though.
She's in Greece right now, I think.
What's her name?
Imogen Bailey.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And so I follow her on Instagram, and I was like, that's cool. So is that what you'd want to do?
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Imagine just being in Newsies on stage and you're just across the floor.
Yeah.
Like, that's sick. I think also the way that suits me is like the problem I had earlier about trying to combine flips in like your dance class. Like a lot of the time in Newsies, it is like they just go to the side of the stage, do their prep, and then go and do flips across the stage. That is suited towards me. That is fine. Because it's like, they stop and then they do their runs into it, and it's like one at a time, and it's like really cool and impressive. I just now need to nail the dancing, because from what I've seen, the dance in Newsies, it's full on.
It's
pretty
insane,
tough.
yeah.
And it's very impressive. Who knows? Where the future might lie. For the next 3 years at Burren College, if we apply ourselves properly, we could get there.
We could.
Would you want to go to the acro class, George?
Oh, yeah.
I think it might be quite popular this year. I don't know how many people usually go to it, but a lot of people I've spoken to have been like, yes.
Yeah, people dip in and out. You don't have to, you just pay on the door, so you can just go whenever.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be fun. It's been like so long since I've done a gymnastics, like 2-3 years. And I'm just going to be so nostalgic. It's just going to be like, oh man, this is where I spent my childhood. But yeah, that's what I was always really excited for Bird. Well, I was like, I'm going to have lots of opportunity to do lots of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, oh, I haven't done anything yet, but we are 2 weeks in. And we've still got so much time. I'm excited for Pas de Deux as well, actually.
I'm excited for
good.
that.
I don't know how good that'll be. Definitely to get stronger.
They start right at the beginning. You will be fine.
Lots happening here at Bird College. And I'm sure lots of the other drama schools have cool things. Maybe I'll get some people on who are at other places.
Yeah.
Rose Bruford's down the road, isn't it? We're not too far from London. So if you would like that in future episodes, me talking to people who are training at different places, then I'm sure I can make that happen. I just need to get braver. After the Hamilton audition, my friend said to me, just go ask them if they'll come on your podcast. I was like, nope, I don't. But maybe give me a couple of years and I'll get the confidence. If this is still going and has grown to like a respectable level, we might start getting some cooler guests on. So if you want some cool guests on, help support the channel.
None taken.
No, if you want West End before the Gone, which you will be soon.
Exactly.
Yeah, soon, Emma Brew, you're going to see.
Good say.
Very soon. But yeah, obviously, your support is really appreciated. I think that's going to be it for the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I like doing these. They're very fun. I hope you guys like them as well. Looking at the reports from the previous ones, it seems like you guys have been. So yeah, thank you for watching. This has been the Movement Theories podcast, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.